What up, people? Friday weekend. I know everybody's glad it's the weekend. How's everybody doing on the weekend? We're back into the winter thing again. Yesterday, 62 degrees here in Columbus, Ohio. We had crazy weather. I think the rest of this weather, maybe the rest of the temperatures in this year, gonna be up and down, especially during the rest of this winter season. I don't know. I can't tell. Don't know. How's everybody doing on this evening? It's been a crazy winter so far. Going to the halfway mark on I say of this of February 2019. Okay, today's the 8th. Not a very good day for me, because this is the day this is the day that my father passed away about 17 years ago in 2002. So this is kind of one of them days I try to get through. And I always have a name for February. I call it fucked up February. It's kind of been that way. There's been a lot of people passed. Christoph St. John, Young and the Restless. Crazy. This is the month that Whitney Houston died. Right, what was it, 2 days before the Grammys? Grammys were a little later than back then. So it has just been one of them. I'm not real appreciative of the February. Even though Black History Month, seems like a lot of black folks too die around in this month too. I know people die all the time. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. That's not my observation. My observation is noticing what's been happening the last 10, 15 years. What I've noticed. There's something I observed. Okay, maybe that seems a little negative to you, but I'm just sharing what I've observed and what, from my experience. One thing I want to talk about, and I hear this all the time, and I hear this mostly from white folks. Okay? I hear this from black people. I hear this from other people, but I'm addressed it to black folks. People said that they're colorblind. Now, when they say they're colorblind, are you colorblind? That means you have trouble seeing certain shades of colors? Are you colorblind to the skin tone of others? Okay? Now, I'm colorblind. Okay? I have troubles with certain shades of reds and greens. They consider me colorblind. My mom took me to eye doctor. I was real young, probably, 6, 7 years old, and couldn't see these. They had these light patterns that were like reds and greens, and I couldn't see them. First time discovering that I was colorblind. She was like, "What, you cannot see these?" No. So, I guess when I tell this to people, people ask me, how do I differentiate the red light and green light? I can tell that they just don't look red and green to me. I just know the positions. That's all I need to know. Okay? The green light looks a little white. The red light looks a little orangey. And it's not all shades of green or red that I have a problem with. It's just a certain shade. Now, I can't really... Somebody's always calling when I'm doing a Facebook Live all the time. But I can't tell you what the shades are. I don't know. It's just a certain shade. Another buddy of mine, Nelson, he had the same problem. Okay? Reds and greens. When we was in the 8th grade at junior high school, both found that out. Crazy. But it's cool. And now when I mention that, when people say they're colorblind, how are you colorblind to people in their shade on about what they are looking like? You mean you don't want to recognize that a person is black, white, Asian, whatever? You feel why would you say you're colorblind? Is that your way of saying that you're not biased to certain shades of people? So you say you don't recognize the shades of people? That's not making you biased. That's denying that who those people are. See, we need to stop with a lot of shit to because we're afraid of recognizing the differences in folks. Okay, why? Until we start recognizing the differences in folks and accepting the differences in folks, then we have better conversations, we have better relationships with different people. Instead of trying to say, well, I don't notice color. That's a crock of shit, really. Why? Why would you say you don't notice color? That means you don't notice that somebody's different ethnicity and you're denying that. What is the problem in this society that people always want to deny certain things? Because they don't want to face them. They're afraid to face them. What are you afraid of? You know? And the same people who quote unquote call themselves religious or Christian are the same people that say certain things like this. They're the same people that are judgmental, throw rocks in glass houses. Okay? Now, with this Virginia thing is really we're getting back into this bunch of women with this attorney general or attorney governor or whatever it is, in Virginia being accused of rape. Okay? It's I have a big problem with, and I'm gonna get backlash on this. What I don't really care, but I'm gonna talk the truth. I have a problem. Always have a problem when you want to bring up something that happened 15, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. My question to you as a woman. Now, you can't use this as an excuse. Well, back then they were scared to bring it up. So if you are scared to bring it up back then, why aren't you scared to bring it up now? What changed? What has changed? What is your motivation? What do you think you're gonna get out of a situation now? This guy is in the public light. Is that your motivation, to ruin his career off of something that happened in school? I don't want to be. Oh God, but this is. Oh, okay. I'm reading a text for somebody. I'm supposed to go out tonight. More dancing. Yeah. It's not snowing, icy cold. Going out to this. Anybody from Columbus, Ohio? There's a restaurant out at the called the Aero Squadron. They're starting to have a salsa event out there. But let me get back to what I was saying. What is your motivation? Okay. What is your motivation to speak up about a rape allegation 10, 15 years after the fact? See, this is the thing that is never addressed to me. And I can't. The woman's still alive, okay? This is not like she's been murdered or whatever. Like, there's no statute of limitations on murder. But when you got... This is the biggest problem I have with all these situations with men and women, sexual, whatever, in college, whatever. You want to bring up stuff that happened 20, 30 years ago and didn't say nothing to it then, and then you want to ruin somebody's career, life, whatever, after the fact. Why? Yes, you will be judged. To me, you should be judged and scrutinized more so after that than you would during it. At least it is in a time frame that it happened. Now, you want to bring up shit that happened. And my question to you, to any woman, is to want to do that. What is your motivating factor for this? The excuse saying you were scared back then is bullshit. What is your motivating factor right now to bring it up 10, 15 years after the fact? If you weren't scared back then, why are you not scared now? If you were scared back then, why aren't you not scared now? What's the motivating factor? There's always a motivating factor to doing any damn thing. Okay? Always. And I get really tired, and this is not about a black and white thing either. With anybody. But it's like with this Me Too movement bullshit, it has wrecked its integrity to me, because now it is allowing any woman to say boo about a guy and then he's accused, he's found guilty before they even say he's found guilty. Just because some woman says somebody did this, that don't make it true. Okay? Because there's a lot of women have said a lot of dumb shit, have put men in jail, especially black men. Now, this doesn't have anything to do directly with the situation with Liam Neeson. Okay? Let's don't get that twisted. Let's don't get apples or oranges. Okay? Let's don't get that twisted. Because I know there's going to be a lot of you who are going to say, well, what about the situation with Liam Neeson? They ain't the same thing. Okay? We ain't talking about the same thing. That's not the same issue. Okay? Now, and then this is with one white guy and one black guy, okay? If, this is my thing. If you're going to call for the resignation of this black attorney general, attorney general, attorney governor, something like that, in Virginia, then why aren't we pushing the same for the food that's in the White House, who admittedly, we got on tape talking about grabbing women by the conchas, okay? Got him on tape. And he's still in office. That's the biggest, I don't give a shit. This man is not above the law, people. Let's cut that shit out. The presidency is not a man above the law. If we are putting this type of stigma or thing on the presidency, then we better be very, very careful about who we put in office. But yet, then that's telling me that the presidency is a sham. Why do we have it? Because somebody want to hide to do unlawful things, or is it based off of who you're connected with? Okay? There's something to think about. We don't think we don't want to think too deep because we don't want to think our government is like that. People, wake the hell up. Our government is like that. Okay? We've seen all the hypocrisy that's been going on in the last 2 or 3 years. Actually, we see all the hypocrisy that's been going on the last 10 years. Okay? Especially really after 9/11. Okay? We got a lot of bullshit going on that people do not want to talk about. Not even in the Democrats in Congress want to talk about it. Okay? They're too worried about how good they look, or they're worried about what this is going to affect in the coming election. It's already out, people. No matter what you do or don't do, it's going to affect, and they're going to play on those type of things. What you need to do is prepare for this, okay? You guys need to prepare for this kind of shit that's going to happen. It's going to be an ugly, you hear me? Ugly campaign for 2020, okay? And I'm not surprised that a lot of this stuff is not set up on purpose, okay? And it's like I said, we like to deny a lot of things. Well, who's this? Oh, that's right. Albert Finney died. A lot of them checking out this month. You cannot sit around here and talk about truthful and then talk in one breath denying the ethnicity of people. And like my last video, I talked about if you really, truly like authenticity or transparency. Most of y'all don't. Like I said, it's transparency in the real scheme of things, and the truth is very ugly. And if you're not willing to deal with the ugliness of transparency versus the good, don't say that you want transparency. You're full of crap. Okay? Because you got to take the good and the bad. You can't have it both ways, people. You got to take the good and bad with both of these things. The biggest thing, I got a letter from a friend of mine, an email today, talking about another thing, ageism in America. Okay, now this woman, you probably heard me talk about her. She's fine. Yeah, you probably seen pictures of her on my Facebook page. She lives in Switzerland. She was talking about this video about how do we let our thoughts, as our thoughts or our convictions or whatever, part of how it affects our aging and our disease in our body. In some way, a lot of ways it does. Our convictions about a lot of things. And I wrote it back. A lot of things in our convictions about a lot of things is based off of how we are brought up, how we are socialized. And there's a difference between men and women. And this is probably why women don't speak on terms of sexual assault when it happens, because of the way you socialize. Okay? You're socialized not to speak on these things because you're not, for some reason, they don't want you to, they want you really, let's put it this way, I believe they want to keep you in your place. Women are, this misogyny about women is about keeping women in their place. This ain't got nothing to do with being black or white. This is all women, okay? They treat white women a different way, but since you are a female, they always want to put you in their place. And black men in cultures are, guilty of this shit. Look how they treat some of the women in Africa, some of the Arab countries, okay? The systematic system of our world wants to keep women docile, compliant, and no voice. And this type of attitude goes all through their lives. No, I don't care what country you brought up, more so practiced readily than they probably do in the United States. United States, the bullshit about the United States is that they claim all this freedom, but in the reality of the scheme of things, it's all BS. Okay, they only want freedoms for a certain amount of people, and most of the people they want their freedoms are for white males. Okay, now a lot of y'all don't have to agree with me on that, but circumstances show, statistics that show this in all phases of our culture. Okay, white women are verified because they're with the white man. Okay, black women are held at another level and used to divide families with the black male because they play on the black male's ego. They do the same thing with Latinos, okay? That's why you hear that have never heard the term, and a lot of black women never heard this term and didn't understand what this term meant, that the freest women or freest people in the world, so to say, is the white man and the black woman. The problem with the black woman, and sometimes I think she don't understand this, is that they use the divide and conquer of the ego to the black man because of the things they have done to black men to keep them from achieving and down. That's a way of dividing. They'll give a black woman more opportunities with different things, knowing that it will rub on their ego. And some women don't get that what's happening. They are saying, well, see, I got the opportunity. But they don't understand that is a game, is a ploy, okay? That's been done through time immemorial. They'll do that to a certain extent to males in a certain class, white males. It's all a game, people. It's all a game. And a lot of times we don't realize the game, how it's being played on us until it's too late. The political game is being played on us all the damn time, folks. All the time. Every time you turn around, they're coming up with some other bullshit now. We're gonna have to wake up to the fact that we have a say-so to a point where we really don't have a say-so. And what do I mean by that? This new Congresswoman, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, I'm probably pronouncing that right. Ocasio-Cortez. There are some women in the GOP are very, what are they saying? They want to kind of shut her down because they're thinking that she hasn't been in Congress long enough to speak her mind about it. So when are you supposed to? See, the biggest problem with some of the leadership in any party, when somebody comes in and disrupts tradition, as to say, they want to hold them back for some reason. Until, as a leader, this is my thought. As a leader, most people need, when you got new people coming in, is to give them some history. Maybe some correct history. Now, so they can build upon. Now, the young people, too, need to differentiate on what's the truth in the history and what's not. With all the technologies we got today, folks, young ones, in y'all's late 20s, early 30s, look up certain things. Read certain books that were not given in school. I've been promoting and telling people to read Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson. I've been telling people to read Conspiracy of the Rich, The 8 New Rules of Money, so you understand the political game that's being played in this country, that's been played for 104 years, okay? This is not something new, okay? This is not a new game. Until we start understanding the game that's being played, that the Congress people, the Democrat and the Republican are not going to tell you this, okay? I don't know if they're scared to or they don't know. And they may be scared to and they know and they don't want to tell you. That's why they always try to keep you docile down. We have a systematic system in this country to keep most people from achieving when they step out of the bounds of their lane or the bounds of the rules, quote unquote. And that's what's done. You have to really listen and watch what is being said on TV, not from where you can really see. You have to dig deep. But for you to dig deep, you're going to have to get outside of the normal media streaming that most people usually get their information, news from. Because theirs is a slant, and the news media a lot of times is for a really time. They're interested in ratings. Let me see what's going on. They're talking about ET's on tonight. Nah. And see some of that kind of crazy too. But you gotta look outside the norm of what you normally get news from. Because a lot of it's based off of ratings, not really based off of solid truth. There's some half-truths in it. There's a lot of books that I've read. There's a book called A Meeting at Jekyll Island. Meeting at Jekyll Island talks about the forming of the Federal Reserve. See, most people, they don't talk about these kind of shit because it's outside the norm. You're not going to hear a lot of this shit. You may hear some people skate around the Federal Reserve and the name of the Federal Reserve and all that stuff. Like, a lot of people, I bet you a lot of people on here don't understand what the gold standard is. Okay? And it's because we fail to either want to see it, or if we see it, we say, like I said earlier, how you always talking about somebody's colorblind versus being colorblind. Okay? This is what we do when we take in to all counts of our life. When we're insecure and unsure, we want to use terms like those because we want to be comfortable. How you being comfortable and knowing that there's some BS out there going on? You're wanting, once you disconnect from the matrix of everything, you can't go back. It's like even in business. I talk about a lot of business strategies online also, and how they're connected through politics and all that kind of stuff. Most people don't understand that kind of mess because they're so one-sided in their views of life, and they don't understand this whole thing is a game. from your politicians to your pharmaceuticals to your banking, financial institutions, they're all connected to molding and drilling their whole viewpoints and motives in this country. Well, not just in this country, in the whole world. It may be done through different cultural venues or cultural ways, but the whole agenda is to keep people compliant. You have to feed a system for it to work. Be it good or bad, you have to feed a system to make it work or it doesn't work. And that's what this has all been about. Now, there's ways of getting around all that kind of stuff, understand the game of the system. Just like I just saw a post about Netflix making $847 million and didn't pay taxes. The biggest problem with Democrats and working class people don't understand is the GOP tax cuts ain't nothing new. GOP tax cuts have all been called different things. The biggest problem for anything to work in this country, to change from the ultra rich, is the rules of how the taxes have been, the laws of taxes. Okay? The law of taxes is saying that people who make, business people, investors make a certain amount of money. And let me put it this way. It's how they make money. I've put this online before. The Cash Flow Quadrant. This is another Robert Kiyosaki book. And he explains. He divides in 4 quadrants how people make money. People make money either as an employer, self-employed, an investor, or business owner. The highest part of the quadrant that pays the taxes is the people who work for somebody. Okay? Understand that. You invest money in liabilities. What are liabilities? Let me say, a lot of things you think that their assets are liabilities. What are assets and liabilities? To make it simple, assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take it out. Keep it simple. They're the first part of that quadrant is where people pay the highest taxes as an employee. The second is the self-employed person, because even though he has a business, his money's still based on activity, capital gains and all that other stuff. The other one's a big business owner, because they got employees, trainings and all that. They pay the second lowest in taxes. The third and last is the investor. Now, what most people are trying to do, and this is why the rich stay rich. Listen, people. On the right side of the quadrant, people dwell between the investor and the business owner, big business owner, so they don't have to pay a lot of taxes. This is what Trump's done. This is what all big businesses do. Okay? Especially business owners and stuff. The tax laws allow them. Okay? The GOP, all they done is built upon more structure laws that favor them. I mean, if you were ruling and made the laws, wouldn't you make them in your favor? Let's be real about it. Okay? See, this is what most people don't understand. United States was bought out 104 years ago, set up a central banking system, treasury, and all that. Those things have been taken over, and they're run by the ultra-rich. The ultra-rich you don't know about. We talk about the 1%. The 1% are the ones that work for Congress. They're the ones that make the laws. Amsel Rothschild said, I care not what laws you make as long as I can control the money. You know, we talk about Bezos, the richest man in the world, but the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, the Chase, JP Morgan, people that own Chase. Let me see. They control $500 trillion of the world's wealth.
And I reached out to you and I said, are you okay?
The world's wealth.
It just sat with me. It always was in the back of my brain.
Okay. I'm looking at the ET. They talking about Christoph.
The 52-year-old was found dead last Sunday after the LAPD said
But
they got a call
that's a
from
shame.
possible alcohol
alcohol overdose.
Sobriety. Maybe Kristoff couldn't get the help he needed, and he was
With the loss of his son Julian,
People
took his own life.
need to understand
I spoke to Kristoff soon after.
how this country is built and the rules and the regulations and how things are there. Presidency is really, they are. I mean, when you heard 45 talk about the system is rigged, that's one of the things he's not really lying about. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't support Trump, okay? But I got to be real about what you understand and know and read. He's right about that kind of stuff, okay? The system is rigged. But he's playing a game to benefit himself. Yeah, he's playing a game to benefit his business thing. Now,
and it brings me such sorrow, but love is eternal.
now what
It really is hard to reconcile.
we got to understand is what
Yeah, sure is.
everybody that comes into the presidency,
Announced he will be honored with a future storyline expected to begin in late April. The show will not only pay tribute to his longtime character Neil Winters, but also Kristoff.
what people got to understand, the presidency is based off of where most people come from. Obama probably is one of the he came in as a millionaire, but he didn't come in from generational wealth, okay? Most of your top presidential people have come in from generational type wealth, okay? And that kind of makes a difference when you get legislation passed, and because they stick with their own. Obama was a fluke in a lot of ways. Obama was somebody that came in. He was a man of color. Black man, had a white mother, grandparents and everything. In some ways, he was a fluke. If black people thought he was going to change and make things better, you might as well stay your ass at home. Okay? The presidency is based off of where individuals' pedigree is. Really. Let's be truthful. That's where it's based off. It's not based off of just because you're the presidency. Now, look what all this food that we got in the White House now. Why are these people with GOP, why are they scared of him? There's two reasons I can say the reason why they let him get away with stuff. They wanted a white guy in there and would rather have Donald Duck in there and let him get away with anything because they did not like that we had a black man and a black man 2 terms that occupied the White House. They didn't give a shit who they had in there next. So that's why they picked Trump. So this is why they seem like they are letting him get away with all kinds of bullshit. The other thing that I think why is that maybe, and I've said this all too, it could be a combination of both. The whole GOP leadership is paid off. They're not going to speak anything to compromise their own stuff. If you're paid off, that's bribery, that's extortion. And to me, I think Mueller is building a RICO case. I know. He wants to say he doesn't have any buildings or anything done in Russia. Then why don't he expose his tax things? See, the biggest thing I think that's going to come out in this thing is through his tax things, and they get a subpoena to get his taxes.
20 years ago, backstage at the Grammys after Will's big win,
The mirror that's going to hit the fan, okay, on this bad boy, on this damn boy, because,
has a big hit on her hands with her red tape
he's hiding stuff. There's no reason, nobody keeps you in no daggone,
down for an exclusive show. Would you tell this girl right
your taxes like that. He keeps saying his taxes are under, what do they call that? I won't say under investigation, whatever. He's full of shit. That's just what it is. He's full of shit. He's hiding some things, okay? Now, he's hiding a whole lot of different things.
the annual Inspirational Summit for Women, and she shared with me
And it's getting closer to him because of the indictments that have come down. Now I don't understand the indictments that have come down with the Russian people. They're not going to extradite any. They only got one Russian, this Russian woman that they were able to charge here. But other than all the other mess, I don't get. I don't get what that's about. Okay, but I guess we're gonna find out in a couple of weeks or so, if not sooner. But you gotta understand, people say things and do things to avoid what they truly don't want to see. This is why I begin this whole conversation on this Facebook Live about being colorblind and being colorblind. Colorblind is you don't want to see the color of people's ethnicity or skin. You want to deny it. For some reason or another, you're uncomfortable about it. People who say they are very uncomfortable about it. It's bullshit. You can't deny or want to ignore should ignore people who the color of the skin. That's who they are. If you're not willing to recognize that, you're not really a friend of this. You know, I hear people talking, well, I have black friends. I have Latino friends. I have this and that. Okay, you know they're black and Latino, so how do you not recognize the difference in the shade of color or texture or whatever, hair or whatever? Okay? That's all so much BS. People are a lot full of shit. You know, I know I'm probably have my cousin over here he was talking about that. I cuss a lot on my videos. I cuss for a reason. And it's not because that's really who I am. When you're getting an expression of what you're trying to get across, sometimes just being like, now if I just said, well, if you afraid to recognize a person's skin color, then you're not truly their friend. How would you respond to that? B-Sen? You got to have some energy. Energy's going to come out from other people. People have such a, you know, like I said, people like to throw stones in glass houses about stuff. And I always tell people, if the cussing goes against your moral compass or whatever, you have every right to click off, and you have every right to defriend me. I'm not here to be all to all, okay? And I've always said, part of any content marketing, any content, anything is only based, and only should be about the people that get you, not trying to please everybody. Hola Nadia, ¿cómo estás? It's never about, none of this is ever about to please everybody online. That's not my whole purpose. If my cousin's watching this, I want him to understand this too. If that bothers you, do not watch anything I put online. Okay? I'm not here to please everybody in their ear, in their sensitive ears. That's not my whole objective. Okay? Marketing online is basically to get the attention. If you can't get the attention of certain people, you're not being effective. Okay? Some people, just because some people don't say nothing until you ask them, like my cousin said to my mother, well, he cuss a lot. Well, dude, you got a lot of nerve talking about somebody cuss a lot. And some of the things you do. Okay. If you see, they probably gonna get pissed off, but that's all right. I'm not here to, you know, like I said, is this who I am? When I'm expressing certain things that I feel that needs to be said and shared, it's going to be in a way that everybody's not going to agree with, and that's okay. Okay, I don't care. I'm not here for that to be, you okay. If you dig what I got to say and you relate to what I got to say, okay. We got no problem. And the ones that don't, forget y'all, fuck y'all. And I'm not really here for that. I'm not, you know, I got to be who I am, how I feel about certain things, not based off of how you feel. Okay? It doesn't matter. This is only to content that people relate to. You understand? And if it goes against your moral compass, I say get off. I say defriend me. Unsubscribe to my Facebook Live so you don't get any information. And that's fine, but I'm not going to change who I am to make you feel better. That's another thing that a lot of people do, especially I find that women in this country and a lot of other countries, they're socialized to always be play along to get along. I tell them, change that mess. Be who you are. The people that can't dig it for who you are, you don't need to be around them. Okay? Life's too short to always compromising yourself to make everybody feel comfortable and happy. Damn them. All right? Damn the ones that don't feel comfortable and happy because you're not placing, they feel uncomfortable. Okay? And, you know, there was a saying my mother said people always try to once a person that cusses an empty mind trying to express themselves. No, it's not. The one that and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't trust people who don't cuss some sort of way. Okay? Because that means you all pent up, tightened up, can't express yourself. Not truly. Maybe that's why some people have all these ailments, because they're trying to fulfill a certain way that's really not there, and it's impossible to feel. Okay, Alberta James invited you to request. Okay, somebody else on LinkedIn connected with me. Okay, but you know, I don't know how long I've been on him. It's like 20 after 7, probably half an hour more. Well, I hope everybody has a good weekend. Friday, I'm gonna go out. There's dancing over at the Aero Squadron tonight, 9 to 1. DJ there, salsa, merengue, bachata, whatever. This is an event they started back in November, trying to do every second Friday and fourth Friday of the month. They have dancing music. Supposed to have a band there on the fourth Friday. And that's why I'm going tonight. Hey, dancing's exercise. Gotta get whatever. You know, I'll be hitting that 6-0 in May. Another thing about this video that this friend has sent me about, that they're talking about women she's not gonna tell her age because a lot of people try to ask her questions basically referring to age. Yeah, there's ageism in the marketplace, but you know, especially I guess towards women. More so, I think sometimes that is more directed towards women. Sometimes it may be directed towards men, but women are socialized to being at a certain age. They want to put women out the pasture. Like I said, this woman that I know, that I've known, since 17 years, I guess. This woman, you would not know. I'm not going to tell her age, but put it this way. This woman looks better than most you women out here who are 30 years younger than her. Okay? Now, I mean that. I'm not saying that because I just know what she does. You know, when she see her, we go out and I look at some women that are 30 years younger than her, I'm like, get the fuck out of here with this shit. And so, I don't know. Sometimes you wonder, people want to make other people feel bad about themselves because they're a certain age. And a lot of times it's jealousy. Okay? It's jealousy because the way they look, the way they carry themselves, the way they can do things, where they've been. People want to criticize. I mean, I got a few friends that are like that. Mentally, some of them aren't that way. They may physically look like that, but they mentally not like that. But this woman, I'm going to say this woman, not girl, she's all that. Okay? Yeah. Okay. I don't know. You know, women need to stop letting society dictate who you want to be. Fuck them. Really. That's for my cousin who probably saw cuss a lot. Alright, people. I'm going to get off of here. Watch a little TV. I'm going to get on the bike a little bit before I go out too. Dress up. It's cold outside, people. Alright, Nadia. You have a good weekend. Everybody else, peace. Take care. And we'll see you on the next video. Peace.